Yup. Uh, Hi again. It's been a long time since I've last showcased my voice. How many months has it been? It's probably been like at least. Has it been 6 months? I can't tell. It might have been 6 months. Um, More like yeah. The last time I showcased my voice was when I was playing. I love you, Colonel Sanders. A finger licking good dating simulator, and that was probably my game of the year. But you know what? Other people didn't think that, so that's okay. But anyway, today we are here to make a tier list based on Overwatch characters, including Echo, which is the latest hero. I mean, she's not been released into the main game yet, but she's on the PTR. And I do realize like most of the people who watch my channel don't play Overwatch, so like I get that, but like I'm only doing this video because I'm really bored in quarantine. Because God bless, uh, I don't even know what I should say. Coronavirus has just stopped the world in its tracks, and everybody's just staying home right now. So yeah, I mean I can't leave home, I can't do anything else. All my exams are cancelled. So guess what? I'm doing a tier list at 2 a.m. It is currently 2:04 a.m. and I know I should be asleep. But you know what? Sleep is for the weak, and I'm here to prove that. So I'm also doing this to like gauge my how should what's the correct phrase? I'm here to like gauge my understanding of Overwatch heroes because I've played this game for a substantial amount of time. I'll probably like pop up like a photo on the screen right now to show how many hours I've played. If I'm not too lazy, but yeah, it should come up now. Okay, and I'll and tier list. So my agenda for this tier list is to like rank them from all the way from S tier to F tier based on like their fun and effectiveness in the game. So you know what? Let's just get to it. Anna, she's definitely S tier for sure. Probably like 2 years ago, before the big nano boost buff, where she got like I mean like before 2 years ago, like she was definitely A tier, but now she's S tier because of the nano boost buff. Because now she can heal teammates for 100 after they've been nano boosted, and she can shoot through teammates now. So she's definitely S tier for sure. I think she's probably the most powerful hero that was released after like the launch of the game because she was the first hero that was released after the launch of the game. Yeah, she was released like 3 months after the game properly launched. So yeah, she's definitely S tier for sure. Ash. That's a good question. Ash is a pretty new hero, but I mean it's been like a year, I guess. So like Ash, I mean her abilities are pretty good, but she is not as powerful as someone like Widowmaker, for example, where Ash can't one shot people as easily, but she got more mobility, I guess. But she's not that powerful. I mean Bob is pretty powerful. Huh, that's interesting. Where should I put her? Because her damage output is not the same as like the other snipers, like Widowmaker or Hanzo. But her other abilities make up for it, like Dynamite or the Coach Gun, which allows her to put distance between like others. So you know what? I'll put her in B. Baptiste. Ooh, he's a pretty new hero. Actually, how many new heroes have been released since the launch of Overwatch? Oh my god, this makes me feel so old. I've been playing this game for way too long. But Baptiste, I'm pretty sure is he's a good healer, but he got massively nerfed after his launch. Like his healing per bullet, I guess, because he has got projectiles that heal others in an area of effect, and his ult got massively nerfed as well. But his immortality field makes up for it, and they increased the cooldown on that as well. So I think for now I'll probably put him in CT. I can probably reconsider it later. Bastion, or this is a hit or miss for most people, since he's probably one of the most OP characters in like the lower ranks from like bronze to like I would say even platinum, but like in the higher ranks like diamond to grandmaster or like top 500, he's absolutely useless because you can counter him so easily. Like Bastion can't output damage unless it's in turret form. Huh. Damn, what this tier list is actually harder than I thought it would be. And there's what? How many characters are there in Overwatch? There's 3 plus 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 28, 29, 30, 31. There's 32 characters in Overwatch. There's 32 heroes. Wait, am I doing my maths correctly? Yeah, there's. Oh my god, there's 32 heroes, including Echo. Wow. Yeah, I mean, back to Bastion. His ultimate, I mean, to be honest, like before, like in the alpha and beta, he had a shield in front of him. So at that point, he would have probably been an S tier, but in his current form, I'd probably put him in D tier because he can't do anything by himself like Bastion. Like, if you play Bastion, you need like a tank like Reinhardt or Orisa to protect you, and you probably need like a pocket healer like Baptiste who can pop down his immortality shield whenever you're in danger, or somebody like Mercy who's constantly damage boosting you, or like healing you. Brigitte, or when she was first released, she would have definitely been an S tier. But like most heroes, she got nerfed to the ground. And honestly, at the current, like her current stage in Overwatch right now, because of the way her shield was nerfed, I think that's got like 150 health now compared to like 800 health of her shield. And a lot of her cooldowns also like increased. So like she's definitely dropped down. I'm probably putting her in E tier, but she's definitely E tier for now. Doomfist, or Doomfist, when he was first like put on the PTR, wait, no, not F tier. Wait, let me put him back. Doomfist, when he was first put on the F, on like the PTR, he was first released to the public. He was like so OP. But then when they launched him, when Blizzard launched him into the main game, they nerfed him substantially. And for a year, like nobody touched him apart from like streamers, like, and because of like famous streamers like Chipsa or like Brandito, people started playing him more. And like after he got buffed, for like a 6 month period, it was literally Doomfist hell. Because Doomfist, if you knew how to combo him, you could like literally combo any character in the game unless they knew how to counter you properly. But now it's not like he's ineffective now, but he's been nerfed way too much for him to either be in A, or for him to be in S or A tier. So probably, but he's not on the same level as Ash, where he can successfully like counter people and is consistent enough. That's the word. He's not consistent. Doomfist is not consistent enough. So I'll probably put him in Baptiste. He's like, these like Baptiste and Doomfist are quite like situation. Like they like you can only play them based on like situation, or like on certain maps. For example, you can't play Doomfist on like maps where there are like no high grounds. For example, like maps like Dorado would be really good for Doomfist because you can like just do what's that ability, seismic slam onto like characters from like high above. But other maps like I don't know, Junkertown are not as good for Doomfist apart from like after the first point, because there's not enough high ground for Doomfist. So like Baptiste and Doomfist are like quite situational. Diva, or I, I'm probably gonna be quite biased in this tier list, but you know what? Nothing's perfect. I'm putting her. Uh, I put honestly Diva. I don't know if she's S tier or A tier because she's definitely not the same level as Ash, but I don't think she's on the level of Ana as well. Because Diva, if you if you put her character down fundamentally, is not much. Like it's a mech, and once the mech gets destroyed, it's baby Diva, or like just Diva herself, and she can't damage. She can't even like output enough damage, and her abilities are not that great either. If you think about it, it's once you learn how to use those abilities to your advantage, that's when like a Diva player goes from just being like meh to like being OP, because her defense matrix can eat any projectile in the game. I mean, there are like certain exceptions, but like, yeah, they can like she can erase like the majority of the ults, and she can also huh. But then there's also her rockets, which but Diva is interesting because she has a large amount of HP, and her boosters make her very mobile. She's probably the most mobile tank Yeah, if you think about it, she's the most mobile tank, probably after Hammond. Because Hammond can let you just roll around, and Diva can boost around, but Diva's boosters are on cooldown. Like a 6 seconds cooldown, I'm pretty sure. No, I'll put her in A tier for now. Echo. She was. I mean, she's not been released yet as of recording this video. It is currently the 8th of April. So, Echo, and I mean, she's quite OP right now. Like she's in a PTR, she hasn't been launched onto the live game, and when she was first released, she could one hit combo most heroes. No, the majority of the heroes now, like her what's it called? Her sticky bombs have been reduced and her projectile speed has been reduced, I'm pretty sure. As well her movement speed. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna put her as A tier for the time being. Because I don't know how she's gonna play out in the real in like the live game because I'm pretty sure there's still like another week left until she gets launched. So yeah, Genji. Now he's one of the characters who hasn't received any major nerfs or buffs. I'm pretty sure the largest nerf he released was like his projectile speed, and that was like 2 years ago. So I don't know where I should put him to be honest. But his abilities are quite. He's one of the most mobile DPS characters due to his dash and his double jump as well as wall climbing. But then his damage output is not that great unless you know how to play him properly. So his effectiveness in a game only depends on on the experience of a character. So unlike somebody like Ana, who can like completely change the tide of a game by using a single biotic nade. I mean Genji can deflect ultimates as well, but he can't do that for every single ultimate in the game. Huh. That is Genji. Honestly, I think it's situational as well, so I'm gonna put Genji B tier for now. He's quite powerful if you use him properly. But then, actually, you know what? I just realized Brigitte is definitely F tier as of right now because of how badly she's been nerfed. I just remembered that, but it's completely off the topic. Yeah, Hanzo. Ooh, I mean, he was pretty OP like 2 years ago when he still had scatter arrows, and then they replaced it with storm arrows and a leap ability. He's a good sniper. I'm gonna put him in B tier as well, along with his brother Genji. Junkrat, my personal favorite DPS character. And yet there's some bias. There's some, but I don't think he's on the same level as Ana. Ana's like, huh, Junkrat. His abilities are pretty good. He got his, he got his mines, like his concussion mines buffed to 2. So he's got 2 of them now. And I mean, that is quite good. His Riptire speed increased, but then it also got nerfed substantially after like 2 months. Huh, Junkrat. He's in an interesting position right now because he's only effective against characters who don't have a lot of mobility. So, for example, Junkrat versus like a Pharah matchup is really bad because Junkrat can't hit characters like in the air like with like a lot of mobility because then the Junkrat player would have to predict. Since the Junkrat web like it's the projectile, it's not hit scan. Junkrat's weapon. I'm probably gonna put him. He's definitely C tier. Even though I main Junkrat, I'm gonna put him as C tier because you need a lot of experience in order to play Junkrat, and it's only effective in a game if you know like where to like shoot and like how to like play your advantage, like how to play to your advantage against opponents. But Junkrat is pretty good at breaking barriers, so that's why I'm not putting him on the same level as D tier. But he's also quite situational, so I'm putting him C tier right now. Lucio, my favorite healer and the one that I play the most. Hmm. Honestly, I think he's B tier for sure, because his his ultimate is quite important. It can give everybody temporary shields, but then his healing per, like as a support, his healing per like second is not much. It's barely like you can barely notice it if you're playing tank. Like it's what? It's probably like 10 per second. unless he amps it up and then it goes to like 30. I'm just guessing. I don't know like that. I don't know the exact numbers. But yeah, he's probably speedier for sure. But he can wall ride as well, so he's got a lot of mobility. Huh. He's definitely speedier. Yeah. McCree. He recently got a buff with his Deadeye, and his mag size also increased. But then he also has a large damage fall off, and his ultimate is quite hit or miss. Like you need to like either have a combo like Zarya's Graviton to secure kills, or be hiding for like a couple of minutes before you use your ult in order to secure kills. Unless you're like a god tier McCree player and can hit every single hit like shot, I'm pretty sure McCree is D tier for now. May, oh, the devil, Satan. I personally hate May, but if I were to like look at her from a completely like subjective point of view, she is pretty powerful if you know how to play her. But she's only powerful in like the lower ranks, much like which other hero did I say? Much like Bastion, yeah. From like bronze to platinum, she's only effective then because people don't know how to group up, so people mostly just go one by one into the point or like just go exploring off on their own in the maps and making corner those people and can kill. She can easily decimate like a tank like Roadhog with 600 health. So I mean honestly I think she's D tier because her ultimate also is pretty good, but it's pretty easy to escape if you got high mobility like Lucio, or if you got boosters like Diva for example. And her ultimate is AoE and it takes like a couple of seconds for the ultimate to properly freeze its targets. So your main is definitely D tier. Mercy, probably the most controversial hero in Overwatch. Oh, I can't. I still remember the days when her ultimate used to res 5 people at a time. Simultaneously. Oh my god, those were the dark days of Overwatch. Oh Jesus. If I were to like, you will. So for people who don't play Overwatch, I'm pretty sure you're not even like this far into the video, but you know what? If you are, let me explain. Mercy was probably the go-to hero for like the first 2 years of Overwatch's release. I'm pretty sure it's bordering on its fourth year now, Overwatch. And I got it after like midway through its first year. I got it in February 2017, I'm pretty sure that's when I got Overwatch. So after like 8 months after its release, that's when I started playing Overwatch. But Mercy, I swear to God, was probably the most broken healer because her ability to heal was like undeniable, and her ultimate was probably single-handedly the most powerful ultimate in the game because she could res 5 people at once. She just had to hide and wait for her teammates to die, and suddenly she can just do her ultimates and do heroes never die, and suddenly the whole team is back up. So the enemy team wins a team fight based purely on like their skill. It doesn't matter because the Mercy could have just been hiding somewhere else, and she could just res everybody else. But now she can only res one person every 30 seconds, and her ultimate is not as effective anymore. So I'm putting her C tier, but her res can bring people back from death. So pretty sure she's B tier for now. Moira. See, here's the thing about Moira. She is very effective in low ranks, but in like higher ranks, she's almost not basically not effective at all because you need to have close mobility with her because her abilities are the healing ball, fade, and her ultimate. What else? Yeah, that's it. And she can heal, and she can heal herself by damaging others using her uh, primary fire. So sorry, using her secondary fire. My bad. And she can heal others using her primary fire. But the thing about Moira is, she need to be like within. How does distance in Overwatch work? Like within 5 meters of your target in order to lock onto them and probably like damage them. Unless you are within those 5 minutes, you'll have to like shoot a ball in a direction, which is pretty slow, and it can only damage a max of 300 health. So she is really powerful if you're in lower ranks and you don't have anybody on the enemy team who can counter her. But if you're looking as an overall hero, she is pretty weak apart from her I mean, her ultimate can be stunned as well. I'm putting her in E tier. That's pretty controversial, I'm saying, yeah. But that's what my opinion is. Orisa. Orisa is a weird hero because she went from being completely like. Because she was released and she was like kind of a niche hero. Like, it wasn't people's first choice because normally when people went for wanted a shield hero, they would pick Reinhardt since she's got more mobility and better abilities, more mobility and a better like selection of abilities like Fire Strike and Archer. Orisa just had Fortify Shield, and that's it. Fortify and Shield, and uh, and the makeshift Graviton. Huh. But then she got buffed, and her Bongo, her ultimate supercharger, also got buffed. But now her shield got massively nerfed, and it's less than Sigma shield. I'm pretty sure. So, hmm, is she B tier? She's C tier for sure. Farah. Ooh, Farah. She's really good if you don't have any hit scans or snipers on the other team, but you also need to have good healers who can keep a Farah up, like Mercy and Pharmacy. How has Pharmacy not been nerfed yet is my question. It has been 4 years since Overwatch came out, and Pharmacy has still not been nerfed. Also, Farah is like she's one of the few like DPS heroes who has not been touched at all. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, she hasn't been touched. I'm pretty sure like the last major change she got was the area of like the amount of damage her rockets did in like a certain area from like the center. So like unless you were like in the impact, you would not be hit for 120. It would like decrease from like the impacts. I can't explain it properly, but if a rocket hit you, you would instantly get 120 damage. You would instantly be hit for 120 damage. But as you were further away from like the point of impact, it would decrease. Huh. Farah is definitely on the same tier as. Yeah, she's definitely B tier, I'm pretty sure. Reaper. Oh, he's probably one of the few heroes who had a complete like change. Because back when Overwatch was still new, Reaper had only two abilities, which I mean he still has two abilities. And he couldn't heal himself instantly. He had to like kill an enemy and then take the soul to heal himself for like what 100 health. And his ultimate wasn't that great either. And his teleport ability would automatically notify every single enemy within its range that there's Reaper because he would always say like Shadow Step incoming or something. But now that he's been buffed significantly and like he can instantly like if he damages enemy player, he will get healed back for the same amount or like for a certain fraction. Huh. Reaper is interesting because his ultimate makes him very good and like makes him very good if it's comboed with like other ult like Zarya's or like Ana's Nano Boost for example. The Beyblade, that's what it used to be called, the Nano Beyblade, back in the good old days of Overwatch. But Reaper, I'm pretty sure he would be D tier. No, C tier for sure. He's probably on the same level as Junkrat in terms of like ability. Reinhardt instant A tier. No matter how broken Reinhardt gets, he's like actually no. Is Reinhardt really A tier? That is a good question. Because has not his shield has not been nerfed much, and his abilities are pretty good. They haven't been touched either, to be honest. But Reinhardt is one of those guys that no matter what happens or what, he will always remain like a key integral part. That is probably like a must for every single like team because of his shield and his mobility and how his shield is not static, it's dynamic. But it's also another thing why he's on S tier is because he can't hold up his shield and do damage at the same time and output damage while holding his shield and protecting his team. So he's A tier. Roadhog. Oh my god, for the people who are watching, I don't even know if anybody's still watching to be honest, but you know what? People who are still watching Roadhog, do you remember Hook 1.0? Hook 1.0 was single handedly the most broken thing in the game. You could literally hook anybody, like literally anybody, no matter how far they were, and they would automatically be hooked. And they would automatically come to you no matter like if there were any obstacles, they would be pulled through walls and everything, and the hook wouldn't break. But ever since Hook got fixed, I'm pretty sure he would have been like an E tier if only his Hook got fixed. But then he also got buffed with Take a Breather with his healing ability, and now he can use it while moving. So he is. Huh, I think he's C tier. Yeah, Sigma. I think he's D tier now because he was very OP when he was first released because his what's it called? What are his primary fires called? I don't know, like the bounty spears, I guess. I'll just call them the bounty spears output a lot of damage. And you could instantly like one hit combo anybody if you used accretion, I think the meteor one that can stun people, and then use your the bouncy balls to kill them. As well as that, he also had a similar ability to that of Divas. His defense range, I don't know what it's called, I forgot the ability's name. But yeah, he can also like suck up and eat most projectiles and completely like counter the damage by projectile heroes. But the thing again, the thing compared to Diva is Diva can use it at any point in time, and she can like choose herself. The character, the player playing Diva, can choose how long they want to like delete projectiles, use the defense matrix for, and it can be rechargeable. So it's like on a meter. Compared to Sigma's ability, when you use his ability to like eat projectiles, he can only use it in a certain period of time, and then he goes on cooldown. So yeah, on cooldown, then he can't eat abilities compared to Diva. So he would have been like Sims like over here. He would have probably been an S tier if he hadn't been nerfed, but he's a D tier for now. Soldier, I'm pretty sure Soldier is one of the few heroes who hasn't been touched since the release of Overwatch. I'm pretty sure he's S tier for sure because first of all, he is a simple character. He's just a soldier who's got rockets, a healing field, and sprint, and he's got pretty good mobility. And his ultimate is quite um, powerful as well, which is tactical visor. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Soldier is definitely S tier because he's an easy hero for anybody to pick, and no matter no matter what skill level you play at, you'll probably see a soldier in almost every single one of your games. Sombra, huh? Sombra. Well, she got nerfed. I mean, she got buffed, but before buff, she was quite buff. I mean, Sombra was like the second hero that was released after Overwatch was released, right? After launch of Overwatch, I'm pretty sure she was second hero, and her ability is to hack people. Basically, that's her main ability, and she can teleport and she can be invisible for a certain period of time. I'm not certain, but now it's infinite. But back in the day, she could only be invisible for like 15 seconds before she appeared again. But now she's been buffed. But she was quite like she wasn't that powerful back like 2 years ago. But now teleport, due to her teleporter being there for an infinite amount of time, and her invisibility always like being also infinite, unless she gets detected or somebody shoots at her and her teleporter gets destroyed, she's practically invincible. So, hmm, I'm probably gonna put her A tier to be honest. Yeah, she's definitely A tier because her ultimate can simultaneously hack everybody around her, and that can be comboed up with like a barrage, for example, or something like Hanzo's dragon. Yeah, Symmetra. She is one of like she's like one of the heroes that got completely reworked. What I mean completely, like her ultimate got reworked, her turrets got reworked, her secondary ability got reworked. So her ultimate before was a teleporter or a shield generator, a teleporter which could only had 6 uses and you could like deploy it anywhere. And the only thing that was the problem with the teleporter was because it could only be from the spawn to any other point on the map. So you couldn't like automatically like have it from point A to point B. It was always from spawn to like point B. So you didn't have much freedom with that. And the shield generator only gave 150 additional shields to everybody else. And before the shield generator, and she also had a movable shield that used to move along with her But before the movable shield, she also had this ability where she could grant other people like 50 shields for like a 5 second period. But that was like in the beta days, or like for the first 6 months after Overwatch launch. I was never there for like when Symmetra's secondary ability was to grant other people shields. But now, her teleporter and her turrets. Oh yeah, her turrets before she could place 6 of them, but they weren't very effective. And her primary fire could attach onto like an enemy, but only for a certain distance. But now she's been completely reworked, so she can now deploy her turrets from far away, and she can also do what was I saying? I mean, she can deploy her turrets from far away, and she her ultimate is now 5,000. Uh, what's it called? A 5,000 HP shield that spans across the map. I'm putting on PTO for now because she got completed rework, so she probably wasn't the same level as Brigitte. And even though I played her a lot, she was quite a niche character. She was quite situational. Because I invested a lot of hours into her, I was pretty good at her before the rework. But now I'm pretty sure after the rework, she's definitely. I'm pretty sure she's P tier. Torbjorn. Ooh, Torbjorn. He also got completely reworked. Because now his turret is deployable from a faraway distance and his ultimate is not. He literally just lays down lava. He shoots out lava. So, but due to Torbjorn mostly just being like a self-centered character, because previously he would give like shields to everybody else that would only be depleted if it like they were killed or like if it got damaged, right? But now Torbjorn is basically just on his own because of his turret. He's mostly self-centered here and doesn't do much for anybody else around him. So I'm probably putting him C tier for now. I'm gonna probably like spend like 10 minutes at the end just rearranging everything. So yeah, Tracer. Ooh, I mean, here's the thing with Tracer. Her pulse bomb either always it's the only thing about Tracer that always gets buffed or nerfed is her pulse bomb. That's the only thing. Other than that, her abilities have never gotten nerfed or buffed. I'm pretty sure. Her pulse bomb is the only thing that either increases with like every single hero launch, like decreases with every single hero launch. Currently, I'm pretty sure her pulse bomb damage is like 300, which is enough to take out any of like the DPS or support players in the game if they don't have shields. But it's not enough to take out any of the any of the tanks. Huh, Tracer. I'm probably putting her 8 here. I know that's Widowmaker. My bad. Tracer, A tier. Widowmaker, I'm definitely putting. Oh wait. I'm definitely putting Widowmaker in C tier because she's just situational. You know, you need to be good at her in order to play her properly. Winston. Has he gotten buffed or nerfed recently? I don't think he has either. I'm pretty sure his last buff was his Tesla cannon increasing in damage. I mean, increasing the output damage. But yeah, Winston hasn't been buffed much. Hmm. Winston is an interesting character. Winston, I'm probably putting him B tier for now. Hamster. I mean, Hammond. Or Hamster. I'm not gonna call him Wrecking Ball. Nobody calls him Wrecking Ball, let's be honest. He's definitely. He's probably A tier to be honest. Because here's the thing. His abilities are quite good if you know how to use them. Right? But he's also another thing. He is very situational also because if you have like an enemy team full of hard hitters like Reaper, like Soldier, your Hammond is not gonna work. But people like Roadhog who can instantly hook you, Hammond's not gonna work. So I'm putting a B tier for now. Zarya definitely A tier because she is more than a tank. She's more like a support player because she can shield herself and others, and her Graviton Surge is not one that necessarily damages, but is one that can be comboed easily with other ultimates. And one of she's probably one of the only heroes in the game who can easily combo with every ult in the game. For example, like take any ultimate in the game, and that can be comboed with every other ultimate, apart from like a few exceptions like Widowmaker's, which only gives her which only gives her which gives her the location of every other person on the enemy team, or Soldier, which only is tactical visor. But you don't really need tactical visor when you have Zarya's Graviton Surge because all the enemies are already in one like place. Huh. Last but not the least, Zenyatta. Zenyatta is quite good at damage outputting if you've got good accuracy. But here's the thing: his healing is basically nothing. It's almost the same level as Lucio's. But the Discord orb that he uses can significantly amplify the amount of damage that the enemy receives. So I'm putting him in B tier for now. Okay, time to change up the list. Because I'm pretty sure I can probably move a few more people around. Okay, let's start with the bottom. I feel like May is probably on the same level as Moira. Maybe Bastion is on the same level as Moira as well. And then yeah, D tier looks pretty good. C tier, can I move anybody up or down? I think the Orisa can be moved up. Torbjorn can be moved down for sure. Doomfist, can he be? Yeah, Doomfist is in a similar position as McCree. He's. It's not like he's completely ineffective. It's just he's in a bad place in the meta right now. What even is the meta? Those triple shields, and then there's double shields, and then there's no more meta now because of the 222 lock. Has there been a meta since the 222 lock? I don't think there has been. So that's another thing. Uh, from the B tier. Hmm. I'm gonna move down Z to C tier. And maybe Symmetra as well. Because Symmetra is very reliant on team comms as well. Because unless you have a team that's willing to like communicate and like actually group up, Symmetra is basically almost useless. Who else can I move? Hammond? I mean Orisa actually to be honest, she doesn't deserve to be in PT anymore because her shield got nerfed substantially. And the thing is she's not like either a hit scan hero either. And she's a projectile hero, so that's another thing. B tier can move any up or down. I think Fire deserves to be moved up because in order to counter her you need quite a lot of like accuracy and like game sense. So yeah. Sombra I think should be moved down. I think Sombra is C tier. Because she's quite situational as well. Hmm. Honestly, maybe Diva is S tier. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. Is there really anybody else who deserves to be moved up or down? Uh, huh. I don't really know if there is. Maybe an S tier. A tier. I feel really sorry about Brigitte all the way down there in F tier, to be honest. But you know, in the current play she's literally unplayable because she's she can easily be countered by anybody in the game, even like Mercy, because her abilities are she's basically been nerfed to the ground by Blizzard because she was so OP when she was first released, and then she got nerfed a bit more. Then her play rate went down a bit more. And she was nerfed, and Blizzard just slowly chipped away at her until she basically became like an insignificant character and wasn't in the meta anymore. I played her quite a lot when she was powerful, and compared to right now, she's not even a fraction of what she was. So that's another thing. Hmm. I'm probably gonna give it like another 30 seconds of thought before like finalizing. Tricia is only 150 HP, and that's what makes me so skeptical for her to be in the same like tier as Echo and Zarya, Reinhardt or Farah. I'm pretty sure she's probably B tier. Here's the thing about Hanzo. He's the only sniper in the game who's projectile and not head scan, so you need to predict. And maybe that's why he's gonna go to. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna put him in C tier. I think Reaper deserves to go to P tier, to be honest, because he is the he is the number one counter against tanks, against any tank, due to the large surface, due to the large. I was gonna say surface area, but that's not what I was talking about. The large hitboxes, and because of Reaper's shotgun, you can literally delete any tank in the game. Apart from like tanks who have like absorbing abilities such as Diva or Sigma, but apart from that, a good Reaper can probably kill them. Uh, I feel like this is it for my tier list. And this is a pretty balanced tier list, I think. There's a good number of heroes in each section, in each tier. So yeah, thanks for watching everybody. If you wanna like make your own template, I'll probably put a link in the description of the video. And wait, can I save or download this? I can download the image or download it for future reference if I ever decide to make a part 2 reflecting on my mistakes. So yeah, thanks for watching everybody. PSA, stay at home, try to do indulge in social distancing. Try to have a good sleep schedule, unlike me, when it is currently 2:44 a.m. and I don't have plans of sleeping anytime soon. It's 2:45 now. I don't have plans on sleeping anytime soon, and that kind of worries me. When it's quarantine, who cares? Any like nobody has a proper sleep schedule or any like coherable sense of what day it is. Like I don't even know what day is it? It's Wednesday today. Wow. I mean that doesn't even make sense to me. Like that doesn't inform me of anything. But yeah, coronavirus cases are on the rise. Please stay at home. Do practice social distancing. Do not panic buy. And yeah, until next time then I guess. Which is probably gonna be very soon because I'm probably gonna be bored again and be forced to make another video. So yeah, see you guys. Bye.